Well, Merry Christmas. It's that time of year. Decorations are going up, trees are being trimmed, music is in all the hallways. This is a time of year when that hurried frenzy comes. Maybe you're thinking, how can I go shopping? Or maybe you're that proactive shopper that's already got your shopping all done. And if so, congratulations to you. But we always talk about how Jesus is the reason for the season. And there's a word that I felt like it was important to bring to you today, and that word is Advent. You see, as we mentioned that Jesus is the reason for the season, there's already something built in that we can use to help us and our families remember that very important thing, and that's Advent. But you might be like me and wondering, well, what is Advent? I don't even know what that is. I've never done it. Maybe you are from a tradition where you do Advent every year. But for those of us that don't know as much, or you just want a little reflection or how you can do it, I want to talk about it for just a moment, because we need to help our families, our kids, even each other remember that Jesus is the reason we focus all this time and attention in the middle of all the hurry. What is Advent? The Advent season invites us to step away from all the hurry and the frenzy and ask ourselves how we can invite Jesus into our homes, how we can reflect on his birth. It's interesting that the Advent season has probably been around since the 4th century. Now, originally it was for those believers who were preparing themselves to get baptized, but then it soon became a tradition to prepare ourselves for the soon coming return. That's right. It wasn't about Christmas yet. It was actually about remembering that Jesus was going to come back to earth and making sure that we were ready. And it's probably been within the last 50 to 100 years that it's also included the Christmas season and remembering Jesus's birth. Now, what does that mean for us? It means that we need to pull back for a second and ask ourselves, are we ready for Jesus to come back? And is this a great time as we think about the birth of Jesus to remember that we need to be ready for his soon coming return? If so, you're probably wondering like me, so when does Advent even happen? Well, typically it starts 4 Sundays before Christmas, and it ends on December 24th. Now, you might be thinking, oh, well, I missed it. Why even start? Because the whole purpose is to get our hearts and our homes ready for Jesus and remember who he is. So it's not too late. Join me. So how do we celebrate Advent then? Well, there's a few different ways. Oftentimes you'll see things like candles in regards to Advent, and they represent things like hope, peace, joy, and love. And each one is lit on one of those Sundays leading up to December 24th. The first one was lit, meaning hope. It represents hope because we have a hope because Jesus came to this earth. We're no longer hopeless because God's Son came and was born for us. And then it continues with peace. Well, because he came, we can now have peace that goes beyond our understanding. Why? Because of the next candle that gives us joy. Joy because God loved us first. Joy because we have a promise of a home in heaven. And the last one, love. Love is Jesus coming to earth, sacrificing it all so that we can have a home in heaven. So the candles are one way that people celebrate Advent, and it's something you can do in your home. Once a week, you light your candles with your kids and talk about the meaning of each one of those candles and reflect back on what that means in regards to Jesus and your relationship with him. But that's not all. You may have also seen lots and lots of calendars. That's right. It's a fun way to count down the days to Christmas, but it's also a great way each day just to stop and pause and reflect on who God is. But what do you do each of those days? That would be my last hint for you, and that's daily devotions. There's all kinds of devotions that are available for you, but if you have the YouVersion Bible app, I'd suggest opening up the daily devotions and looking up the word Advent. And here's a few suggestions for you. One of the ones I would suggest is rediscovering the Christmas season with reflection questions and action steps that you can take each and every day. Another one would be the Bible Project, Advent Reflections. This is a great one because they have some great animated videos once a week that you can watch with your family, along with very short devotions and scriptures that help you reflect each and every day. Finally, the last one is 25 Days of Christmas by Arlene Pellicane. Now, you're not going to find this one in the Bible app. It's actually going to be a link provided in the description box, and it's a free download in PDF for you to use that has activities and devotions for you and your family to do between December 1st all the way to December 24th. This is, again, another thing that we can put in your hands that you can use to remember who Jesus is. So, at the end of the day, what is Advent? Yes, it is some religious things that we can do to remember, but more importantly, it's a relationship builder. Who are we building a relationship with? Well, we're building a relationship with Jesus. Not just us, though. Especially us as parents, we have a responsibility to remember and reflect on the real reason for the season, and that's Jesus. And these are some tools that I hope will help you truly have a Merry Christmas.